So here's equipment tour part 2. So here is our John Deere 9660. It's a hillside combine. Mainly use this for Mountain Dale, because it's steep up there. But we also use it for grass, for fescue down in the bottom mainly, across from my house. We use it for oats and wheat. And then the 9610, which is out in the shed, we use that for barley. It's got the Rayco, hillside kit. Would open the side panels up, but it's kind of a pain in the butt to get them shut. So it's a good combine. It's huge, but it gets the job done. I think we're gonna wax it though. Get it all cleaned up and put away. Then here's our filbert picking setup. So here is the other 6500. The other 6500. This one does not have a loader on it, as you can probably tell. Papa will mainly be running this, picking nuts this year, or every year in fact. It's a good tractor. I haven't driven this one yet, so, but there'll probably be a couple videos on nut picking, so stay tuned for those. Now, here is the cream of the crop. The Rainmaker 9500. You gotta have, because the hitch is weird, because you gotta have this extra piece to connect to the drawbar for it, and yeah, you gotta have an extra long pt2, and yeah. Now, most guys in our area run either Flories or Exacts or Moncheros, but we're one of the last guys that has a Rainmaker, and my uncle, he wants to try and demo a new one, but there's not very many guys that will demo nut harvesters or filbert pickers out here. So, but we demoed a Monchero and it did not do good in the hills, because some of our hills are so steep, and for us this one works just fine. It gets the job done. It chews the sticks and leaves up really good. I doubt we'll be upgrading this one anytime soon, but like down south in Salem, I could see where a Monchero would be handy for doing the little baby trees, because it's mainly all flat down there. There's not too many hills. But up here where we farm, it's really hilly, so you can't really do that. You can't really run a self-propelled one. There is one guy though, there's a couple guys that have a self-propelled sprayer up here. But this does the job just fine. I believe these Ackers, they farm just a couple miles down the road from us. They run a Flory. Hazelnut harvester. So, but we'll probably be starting in a couple weeks. Up at the comb place up on the hill. Up there. It'll probably be a bumper crop, but it's pretty good down here at the home place. But it's good, but it's not as good as what it is up there, up on hillside. So, I don't know. We'll wait and see. So, let's walk. I'll take you guys over and we'll go look at some of the other. Here's our Heister 50 forklift. Right now it's got the def drum with it, for filling the chopper up. Because that's the other thing that takes def too. I wish we didn't have to have DEF, but you gotta upgrade it at some point. Now, here's Papa's baby. John Deere, so it's a 1999 John Deere 9610. This is what we mainly use in grass seed and clover. I think he used this one for all the clover. He used this one for barley and wheat. No, not wheat. Barley, crimson, red clover, and what's that stuff? The other stuff. Oh yeah, perennial ryegrass. So this is mainly what we use for everything. The 9610, or not the 9610. This is the 9610. The 9660 that gets used in fescue, wheat, and yeah, that's about it. So this is a good machine. It does it just fine. But Papa's talking about upgrading. He wants to get an S770 with a Hilco kit, which it'd be a pretty big step up, but it won't be that bad. I mean, we demoed what did we demo last year? A 760 last year. That thing did pretty good. It kept constantly plugging up. Once we got it shined up, it was good to go. So now beside me here we got our Kinsey 12 row. Here where I can actually show you guys. So out here we got our Kinsey 2300 12 row corn planter. Now the new chopper has an 8 row head, but yes, I know you guys are gonna probably get mad at me. I know it's for having an 8 row, running an 8 row head with a 12 row planter, but actually if you think about it, it makes sense because Papa does 24 rows around the outside, so that's 3 passes with the chopper. He doesn't really want to upgrade this one anytime soon. I can't say I blame him because it does this just fine. There's some fields a 16 row would be really hard to plant with. So, but this one does this just fine. Yeah. This one does this just fine for now. But he wants to get a new planter tractor with 4-wheel drive and GPS so he can flail with it better up at Mountaindale. And it'd just be nice to have 4-wheel drive. So that's kind of the story there. But it's a good planter. Gets the job done. I'm impressed with it. Honestly, I kind of like. I won't pop it upgrade equipment because I like running I like the new stuff, but at the same time you can't beat this stuff. Like, a lot of this stuff is not computerized. A lot of it's hydraulics and chain driven. Like you can see the chains up there. A lot of it's chain and power driven. So I don't know. It does it's just fine. It's a good planter. Here's our Cat 926M high lift wheel loader. Mainly use this for hauling out clover silage and stuff like that, and the corn. So I've ran it a couple times, skimming the pit. Hoping to skim the clover pit. So that's our. What do we got? That's the Freightliner. That's the 1989 Freightliner FLB. It's got 300. It's got a Cummins 404 in it. I think so. It has like 315 horse or something like that. I'm not really that great with truck engines. That's a 45, 48 foot belt trailer. Does pretty good. It's a good loader. It gets the job done for what we need it to do. We got a set of pallet forks with it, so we moved bales with it. We've picked up rear ends of combines with it before. We've done quite a bit of stuff with it. So let's go over here and talk about. Here's our cow over Freightliner FLB. Yeah, this is the truck that does all the grain hauling. Sometimes it'll haul totes, but we need to put a new floor on the flat deck, and then after that we can really start hauling nuts with it again. Like when we used to do chairs and prints, this was the hauling rig. So then about a month ago, AJ, my uncle, he went down by Salem, to our buddy's place and picked up this strip slat belt trailer. It's a triple axle, 48 foot trailer. He had to take the outside duals off because they blew, so he just decided to take them off, and then the inside dual's still going, which kind of makes sense, but it's a good, pretty decent trailer. Here's our John Deere old loader. We don't really use this one all that much. This one doesn't get used a whole lot. Yeah, like I said, Papa says we just need to take it to the scrapyard and get rid of it. Which I can't say I blame him, but at the same time, also kind of want him to keep it around because it's a good loader. But like back before AJ built the bale forks for the 6500, this was what we used to load trucks with bales. So this is what we used. And it did the job, but now I just don't really have a use for it anymore. So let's see what we got back here. So back here we got our R4023 sprayer. I'll open the cap here. Some of you guys probably run these or know what this is. So it's got 90-foot boom. Most of the time Papa will only use the 60 because the 90 can't, there's some spots where the 90 can't really fit. So he can only use this main part of the boom. He can't use this top piece. But like down in the bottom, he can use the whole boom, no problems whatsoever. Probably out in that field too. Yeah, so I'll show you guys the inside if you don't know what it looks like. So in here, he doesn't have a second monitor because we just really don't need it. But there's the 4600, there's the Command Pro stick. I honestly haven't ran sprayer yet because it's a little confusing to me. But from what I can gather, I believe you gotta hit, so that button right there, you gotta push down on that, and then I think it's that button, this button or these two to unfold, and then that does all your other stuff, and it can run as auto steer, and we just really don't need the two monitors. But sometimes I think he'd wish he would have had the second one. Sometimes he probably wishes he had the second one because then he could run all of his nozzle control and his variable rate stuff on the main monitor, and then he can run his auto steer off the other one. So it's a good cab. I wish it had a buddy seat in it so me and Gavin could ride with them and kind of learn what to do on spraying, but you know, whatever. Then I think let's crawl out. Then I believe he's got a a 600-gallon tank. It's not a big tank compared to some sprayers, but the tank gets it done. Like I said, gets it a lot. Trying to find the right terminology. You can adjust his wheel spacing in and out, which is kind of handy, especially for like spraying in corn stalks, because then you can put it all the way out and spread the weight out better. So right here we got our John Deere 680 manure spreader. It's got a pretty big spread area or box on it. It's a good spreader. Gets the job done. There are times though where it'd be handy to have a newer one, but or like a tune with the double beaters instead of just the one. But not really much we can do about that because we just, well, there's stuff we could do about it, but we just don't really need it. Here is one. I think this is the newer one. The newer Rears Pull Blast sprayer. We have two of them. We'll probably see the other one in a minute. But I believe this is the newer one that we need, or that we use. It's a 400-gallon tank. Now, they make, down in Eugene, they make bigger ones. They make a 600-gallon one. But for up here, we really don't need a 600-gallon tank on it. Because then you got too much weight and you start sliding around, and it just doesn't. The 600-gallon tank just doesn't really work for us. So that's why we got the 400-gallon model. So, and over here we have our same brand Rears. This ain't a pull blast, so this is a pull tank spot sprayer. So it's just got a little, probably 150-gallon tank on it. For spot spraying, it's got 1, 2, 3. It's got 6 wands on it for spot spraying. Yeah. I think we usually have Jose's family come out and help us with it, with spot spraying. This is hooked to the 2R mainly. 2R pulled good. We used to use the International 140, but it's an International, so that's junk. Here's the other Rears Pull Blast. The other sprayer didn't have this hitch. The hitch, that hitch for that sprayer is sitting over there by the scale shack. It's right there. Which we need to put on next summer. Here is the beast. John Deere 750 dozer. Now, recently in the past like 2 years, we've done a lot of tree clearing projects. And Plop has been running this quite a bit now. Because like all the fields on this side of me, not the ones up on top, but the ones just right close to me, like that cornfield, that oat field, that other oat field over there, and the one up on the hill right up there, and the one right there, and the one right here. They all used to be cherries and prunes, but we ripped them out and burnt them. So, there on the dozer, quick. If I can find a good spot to grab onto. I'm not gonna set this down. There we go. Okay. Here's the dozer. It's a good dozer. It's loud though. Well, let's see. Yep. $2,200. I think it's probably knocked over once. Or something like that. Then Here is the old auger. We don't use it anymore because we used to put all the grain in the shed. But since we got our new Timpty super hopper grain trailer, we can just haul it all straight to town because we don't really have the facility to store. We don't have the facilities to store grain, so we gotta truck it all straight to town. Let's see. That's our ditch sprayer for spraying the ditches and blackberries. It's got that nozzle that sticks up the side, and then it's also got a wand too. It's got a wand on it as well. So, but it's a decent job. I got a couple other things to show you guys in it. There's the old moldboard plows. We don't really use them anymore. Last time I think we used the moldboards, I was 6. I'm 13 now, so you can do the math about that. I'm not really good at math, so we don't really use them anymore. We just don't need to. Look at that. All kinds of other stuff. So there's our rears pack flail for flailing orchards and other things. And then here's our pack tank with 30 foot, with 15 foot on each side, so 30 foot boom. And the last thing I have to show you is this water. Water and tether. So that red thing over there, that's the tedder. We don't use it anymore. We use it kind of, but really not much anymore. Tyler's pit to help cover the top of it. Tuesday night, Wednesday night, something like that. Here's our John Deere 450 rotary swather. It's got a 995 rotary head on it. It cuts about 14 miles an hour, which is pretty quick. But our Pepe salesman, he wants us to upgrade to like 7260, but we just don't really need to. This one does just fine. Papa wants to upgrade the header though to, because some guy down south, you guys will probably know what a 500R is. It's the rotary hay head. Some guy completely gutted it all and put grass head equipment on it, so that way you can swath his ryegrass and perennial fescue with it. Let's call fescue with it, so. But I think we're probably gonna upgrade the head one of these years. But that's the majority of the equipment. Maybe in a little while after we finish corn harvest, I can do a more in-depth one. So, thanks for watching.